When people think about dumb phones, they usually think about very inexpensive devices. You can go to Walmart and buy a burner phone, as usually they're deemed, a flip phone that costs $20, maybe $30, less than $50 for sure. But the problem with those devices is that they don't see a lot of updates. Once you get to the $50 to $100 space, you do get some updates, especially from some companies like Shock, for example. But once you get into the premium dumb phone space, which is 100 plus, then you start seeing a lot of support. Devices like the Light Phone or Punked, devices like the Sonim or Kyocera devices, they usually get a lot of updates and they listen to the feedback. Today we're seeing another company enter the space, and that is the Sunbeam F1. I know a lot of you are waiting for this review, and I can tell you this device is great. I actually received 3 devices from Sunbeam. I purchased 1, and 2 of them have been sent to me in order to test. And those devices are going to you, so stay tuned for the giveaway towards the end of the video. Now, this is the Orchid. This is the one that I purchased. It's the one that has most of the capabilities. The Sunbeam F1 has 3 models. It has the Orchid, the Dandelion, and the Daisy. And they all look pretty much exactly the same, with a couple of minor differences. So we're going to see what those differences are and what the similarities are as well, so that we understand what this company is all about. Let's first start with the Dandelion. This is the most basic out of them all. It does not have a camera. It does not have text messaging. It has calls, a calculator, and that's about it. Well, a calendar and notes as well. But that's it. Nothing else, nothing more. The devices all share the same hardware essentially, except for the camera one. This one doesn't have it. And they're pretty durable. They're not amazing like the Sonim or Kyocera devices, but they're pretty good. For $195, I think it's warranted. And they also have a touchscreen, which makes it very easy to interact with the software. And I'll get to the software a little bit further, but for now, just know this is the most basic of them all. Whenever you upgrade, or you get a different model, they all cost $195. If you get the Dandelion, you just get the least amount of features. If you get the Daisy, it's kind of like an intermediary step, and it's actually, you gain a lot of features back. You get text messaging back, which by the way, works flawlessly. Crude messages, images, anything, you just get it back. Although you are not able to be opening links because it doesn't have a browser, but it's very good. Again, it works very reliably across all major networks in the United States. I tested with Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. I tested with postpaid networks and also prepaid via US Mobile, which is the carrier I'm using nowadays for my testing. It's very good. I'm not sponsored, but if you want to find a link for some discounts for me, then make sure to hit the links below. So the Daisy has the camera back. It also has a calendar, a calculator, and also it has the Notes app, which is very handy. And the thing that I love the most is that it has voice to text. And the voice to text is very, very good. It's better than the iPhone. And I would say that it's better than Google Assistant. It's just extremely reliable, without sacrificing your privacy, I would say, because Sunbeam Wireless also releases their privacy policy. You can read all about it in their website, and it's actually very detailed. On top of that, again, it works very good in the North American market for Canada and the United States, and I expect it to also work well in Europe or any other countries that select with the bands. You can contact them and they'll give you a list of the bands so that you're able to match them in your country. So the Daisy brings back that messaging, calls, simple tools, and also it brings back that voice to text. It does not have a music player as of right now, but it's going to come back as I've been told by one of the founders. Now, let's get into the Orchid, which is the device that I've been using the most. Now, battery life is very good across the board. You're gonna get 2 days to 3 days very easy. It's not going to be weeks long, especially because it's using VoLTE, and also because it's using a de-Googled version of Android. Again, very good privacy. Make sure to go read it. They're not sharing any data with Google, and they are actually not sharing any data with trackers from China, which is an issue that we're having with dumb phones right now, and I'll be investigating and making a separate video altogether on that. Now, there's nothing wrong if you're from China and you have a Chinese phone that sends data to China, but if you're a US customer or European customer that is constantly sending data to another country that is not your home country, then that's a little bit of an issue, especially when it comes to the privacy policies that these devices have. But I'll get to that in a completely separate video. Today we're talking about the Sunbeam F1, and the Orchid version has all of the previous features, and on top of that, it has weather and maps notifications. Now, I like to say a thing about maps and weather. Not a lot of feature phones have maps, And this one does have it and is very good. They use Here Maps, which is very good when it comes to privacy. And weather, they get from the Weather channel. They do have to pay extra for this. So they charge you a nominal fee. It's about $3.50. I did not get charged right away because they're still building this on the back end, and they're gonna give ample notice. I was told they're gonna give you 30 days to accept the terms and conditions and the payment system, of course. So you're gonna be billed $3.50. A lot of the times we don't think about these maps things or costs that these companies have, especially since, of course, you know, we have this, hey, it's free, you get Google Maps or you get Apple Maps and it's included. But of course, all of that is subsidized by companies and big companies. This is a small company, so they're passing a little bit of the overcharge to you for using a premium feature. They call it premium feature. That is, I believe voice to text is under that category, and also for maps and the weather. It will be on the website and it'll be spelled out in there. Now, they're not billing yet, but they will be billing in the future. So maybe get it now as you'll be using it for free. But the Maps app works very well. It gets your geolocation not super fast because they're not using location tracking from the network. They're only using location tracking from the GPS module. So it works very reliably, but once it locks, it relocks very fast and you're able to use it. I tested it into different trips that I did around my town, and it works very reliably. I actually liked it. The weather is very accurate as well from the Weather channel. And again, it's a good service. Now, it's a little bit more costly since, of course, it's $195 plus $3.50 a month, but I think it's worth it. The Orchid device has all of the features, all of the compatibilities, and it's the most powerful device. Now, there is one major flaw about the Sunbeam F1 for some Dumbphone users, and that is it does not have a hotspot. None of the versions have hotspot, and I think it's a pretty big omission. Now, even though they're based on Android, you're not able to install any applications. Whenever you try, you get a message that says you're not able to install applications. This has been removed. I spoke with one of the founders, with Sterling, and he said that they may be bringing a different plant or a different flower to the lineup that will be more for the power Dumbphone user. It will not be certified with the certifications that they have right now. It will be completely different, but the same model. Essentially a Sunbeam F1, whatever it is, maybe, I don't know, Margarita. I think that's Daisy too in English, right? Anyways, whatever flower they get, they'll probably be allowing hotspot or extra features, extra compatibilities. But as of right now, it's one of the major flaws for this device. I personally enjoy using the F1. I personally recommend it. It has become one of my top recommendations. If you need a very reliable device, if you don't want to install any extra applications, I think this is a very good device for phone calls, text messages, maps, and weather, calculator, calendar. It has all the basics, nothing else. The Orchid also has, which I forgot to mention, the audio player, which is decent right now, but it's going to be better in the future. Again, Sunbeam F1, very good device. Whenever you're purchasing anything over $100, you better get support, and this company is backing this phone with the best support that I have seen. If you have any questions about the Sunbeam F1, make sure to put it in the comments below. I'll be replying to you guys. And as always, I enjoy having these conversations. So if you have feedback or anything, make sure to send them their way. They really listen to you and to the feedback, and they're really excited to bring more features to this phone and to have a bigger market share. I'll be making extra videos on a couple of the extra features, comparing this device with the Lightphone 2 maps, which they use very similar engines. Of course, they use the Here maps, and anything else. Again, questions, just put them in the comments below. I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you in the next video.